Hello everyone, how are you all and how is your study going on? I hope you people are studying nicely. Today let us start with the new chapter, chapter 3, metals and non-metals. Okay, already you learnt about elements in class 8 and 9, and you know that elements are classified as metals, non-metals and metalloids. So let us start one by one. So let us learn some physical properties of metals. What are the physical properties of metals? Metals are electropositive, that is they are positively charged. Metals are lustrous means they are shiny. Okay, they have shiny appearance, and metals have silvery gray or golden yellow color. Metals can conduct heat and electricity. Metals are ductile means they can be drawn into thin wires. Metals are malleable, that means we can make thin sheets of metals. Okay, metals are sonorous, that is they produces ringing sound. Some examples of metals are sodium, magnesium, aluminum, lithium, gold, silver, copper, iron, potassium, mercury, etc. All metals are solid, that is they are very hard also, but mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. So these are certain exceptions. We will learn some more exceptional cases also. Now let us learn about certain physical properties of non-metals. Non-metals are electronegative, okay, and they display variety of colors. Non-metals does not conduct heat and electricity. They are not lustrous, they are not sonorous also, and they are not malleable also. Okay, and they are not ductile also, and they are solids or gases. And bromine is the only non-metal which is liquid at room temperature. Okay, some examples are hydrogen, oxygen, iodine, carbon, bromine, chlorine, etc. Okay, now what are metalloids? Elements that have intermediate properties between metals and non-metals are called metalloids. Some of the examples you have to remember, like boron, silicon, germanium, etc. Okay, and compounds, already you know a compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined together. That means they will combine chemically. For example, if magnesium ribbon burns in presence of oxygen, it gives us magnesium oxide. So this is an example of a compound. Now let us learn some exceptional cases. Out of those properties you will get some exceptional cases, like all metals except mercury is a solid. Mercury is liquid, but other than mercury all metals are solid. Iodine is lustrous. We know that non-metals are not lustrous, but iodine is a non-metal but it is lustrous. Carbon is a non-metal but it is found in different forms called allotropes, and diamond and graphite are two important allotropes of carbon. Diamond is the hardest natural substance. We know that non-metals are not hard, but diamond is the hardest substance. So this is one very important exceptional case. And graphite is a form of carbon, that is allotrope of carbon, which is a good conductor of electricity, but we know that non-metals are not a good conductor of electricity, but this is the exceptional case. Diamond can conduct electricity and graphite can conduct electricity, and diamond is the hardest substance known. And alkali metals like lithium, sodium, potassium are so soft that they can be cut with a knife. Why this is an exceptional case? Because we know that metals are very hard, they are solid, and we cannot cut them with knife, but alkali metals can be cut with knife, like lithium, sodium and potassium. So these exceptional cases you have to remember. Now let us learn about chemical properties of metal. First of all, reaction of metals with oxygen. Metal reacts with oxygen, gives us metal oxide. Okay, and we know that metal oxides are basic in nature. We got in chapter 2 that metal oxides are basic in nature. So that is the general case, but some metallic oxides like aluminum oxide, zinc oxide shows both acidic as well as basic nature. For example, if you consider aluminum oxide, it can react with acid like hydrochloric acid, gives us aluminum chloride and water. At the same time, it can react with a base also and gives us sodium aluminate and water. That means it gives us salt and water by reaction with both acids and bases. Okay, similarly zinc oxide will also give us similar reactions. This type of metal oxides which react with both acid as well as bases to produce salt and water are known as amphoteric oxide. This is a new term you have to remember, amphoteric oxides. And most metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some of the metal oxides like sodium oxide, potassium oxides are highly soluble in water, and this type of metallic oxides which are basic in nature and gets dissolved in water is called alkali. That means water soluble bases are called alkalis. Okay, and metals does not react with oxygen at the same rate. We know that depending on the reactivity they will react. Okay, and metals like sodium and potassium are placed at the top of the reactivity series because they are highly reactive and they react violently and vigorously with oxygen, and it is so much violent that it catches fire if we keep sodium and potassium openly. Okay, hence they are kept immersed in kerosene so that it does not get contact with water or oxygen. Okay, to prevent accidental fires. Next term is anodizing. Anodizing is a protective layer which we can give on aluminium. Okay, it is a process of forming a thick oxide layer of aluminium. Aluminium reacts with oxygen readily and forms a protective layer of aluminium oxide, and thus it becomes resistant to corrosion. That means it will not get corroded with any other substance. And if we want to make it more resistant towards corrosion, we can make this layer more thicker by reacting with oxygen. How we can do that? We can do by a process called anodizing. And in anodizing, what happens? A clean aluminum article is made the anode and it is electrolyzed with dilute sulfuric acid. That means solution we will take as dilute sulfuric acid, and oxygen gas will be evolved at the anode. We know that the negatively charged gets evolved at the anode, and since anode we have made with aluminum, what will happen? It will react with oxygen and it will form a protective layer of aluminium oxide. Am I clear? Next is reaction of metals with water. Metals reacts with water gives us metal oxide and hydrogen. Metals like sodium, potassium, etc. reacts violently with cold water because they are highly reactive. And it is so violent and exothermic that hydrogen gas that will be produced will catch fire. Am I clear? Okay. Now reaction of calcium with water is less violent. It doesn't catch fire. That means it will become little bit hot, and that much of heat is not enough for the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Magnesium does not react with cold water, but yes, if we take hot water, it will react and it will give us magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. It also starts floating due to the bubbles of hydrogen gas sticking to the surface. Similar things happens in case of calcium. This reaction also, calcium is water. The bubbles of hydrogen gases stick to the surface of metal, that is calcium, and thus calcium starts floating. Now metals like iron, aluminum and zinc does not react with cold hot water, but they will react with steam, that is water vapor, and it will give us the reaction like this. Okay, and metals such as lead, copper, silver and gold does not react with water at all. That means if you give any kind of water, it will not react with it. Am I clear? So on the basis of reactivity series, metals will react, and you have to remember, question always comes from this part. Now reaction of metal with acid. We know that a metal reacts with acid and gives us salt and hydrogen gas. We have already got in chapter 2. Now if we take several metals and do the reaction with acid, you will see that it will give us salt and water. But if you take sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid, this reaction you will get. But if you take nitric acid, you will not get the reaction. Why? Because nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It can oxidize the hydrogen produced to water and itself get reduced to any of the nitrogen products like NO, NO2 or N2O. Am I clear? And reactivity decreases like this: magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron. If we react these metals with acid, reactivity decreases like this.